who can tell me how to kickstart our Power Query editor? And I did mention what Power Query is used for. Is used for automating processes, and the good thing with it compared to using a Microsoft Excel's formula and functions is that it's lightweight. So the things you are going to do in Power Query, which is still the use of what they call data analysis expression DAX. If you use those expressions by using formula and functions in on the Excel workbook, it is more heavier, and so there will be a point in time where you've added so much automation using functions and formulas that your workbook becomes heavier, and your processor, you begin to overuse your processor, and in other words, it translates to your machine being slow. So in my own experience, I found out that Power Query, you do the same thing in Power Query, and yet your workbook will be lightweight, and you would not need a lot of processing power. That is one of the advantages of using Power Query for automation, and in fact it's the major advantage. So you don't have to write any formula in on the worksheet itself. All you just need to do is to do it. This is what they call the user interface. You are writing it somewhere else, and it will just display the end result on your workbook or your worksheet. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
Okay. For some weird reason, my recording is, I don't know, it keeps I really don't know what to do with this recording. Just hold on. I have this website. There's a particular website I want to scrape data from. I want to get data from National Assembly, the 10th National Assembly, list of National Assembly members. And so this is the website here. Remember the introduction to Power Query, we used a data set from Google Drive, right? A Google Sheet data set. So let's say I want to get the list of candidates from, that's the list of senators and House of Representatives in National Assembly from this particular data. So this is a table, right? So assuming I want to get that particular data and I want to use it for something. So the first thing you would need to do is to go to your data. Then you would go to so being that I want to get from being that you want to actually get from the URL, like from a website, you go to web, depending on where you want to get your data from. So this time around you go to web, like what we did last time, and so a pop-up is going to come up where you have to put the URL, that is the website address. So it's going to take some time, and you just paste your URL or your website address, click on OK. Now what it does is it's actually going through the website to get possible data in a tabular form. It's actually looking for data in a tabular form. So it's trying to establish connection. After here, a navigator is going to open. So what navigator will show possible tables that are available inside this website address. Let's see. while it's trying to do that. So I'm going to continue recording now. So now you now have your navigator. So it has gone through this website and it's trying to look for different documents or tables. So let's go to document one. There's nothing there. Let's go to table one. So it's a table 0. It has identified a table. Now if you look at this Ojiuzo Kalu, that's a senator. But let's go back to the list. So you can see Kalu Orji Uzo. This is senatorial list, and this is the House of Representative Emeka Sunday Inamani. So so we established that table 1, table 0 is the senatorial list, while sorry, table 0 is the senatorial list. Table 1, which is Emeka Sunday Namani, that is House of Representative. Now, in order for us to be able, we need these two data sets. In order for us to multiple select, you click on this option, select multiple items. Then you can click on the tables you need, and instead of load, just click on transform so that your Power Query editor will come up. And by the time it does, it's going to take some time because it will evaluate the table. So that's completed evaluation, and my Power Query editor will come up. And once it does, you now have your Power Query capabilities. So like Excel, it does have a lot of tricks up its sleeves. So if you look at this list, right? If you look at this list, who can tell me what and what we would need from this list? What and what? Somebody should just tell me. So we have about how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. Which of the columns will we need and which one don't we need? Somebody should tell me quickly before we continue. Hello, are you guys there? Or
But remove the you removed it. I think we just need we need the states. We don't need the serial number. We need the district, candidate. We need the party, and then we don't need summary, and we don't need gender.
your way is hard though. But yeah, we don't need summary. We don't need the serial number. Well, but it doesn't hurt to keep the gender. So in order for you to do this, you would click on the column header itself. Click on it, and you can say remove columns, right? So you just remove columns, and you click on summary, and you come to home, come to remove columns, and remove columns, right? So we can come, so you can see our applied step is applying the steps. So you just right click, removed serial number and column. So serial number, and like we can see, and column. Sorry, you guys cannot see this thing very well. Oh, I didn't type it well. That's because of the dark. My font is my theme is dark. That is why. So we remove serial number and summary column. Sorry, we'll say summary column, right? So the next thing is, can you guys see my screen? Can you see the column header or the title? Can you see this green line that's cut across each of these column? Can you guys see that? Confirm if you can. This green line. Confirm if you can.
Yes, we can.
So you can see that for state it is not full. It means that there is a problem. If it's not full, it shows that there is some problem or the other. You understand? And most likely the problem associated here is this null cells that you are seeing. So it means that we need to fill it. So most likely, if we go back to the senatorial list, we have Abia obviously this will be Abia, there to be Abia North, Abia Central, Abia South. The same thing with Adamawa, and so on and so forth, right? Does that make sense? So now we need to fill this null with Abia, Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, like that, right? So that's what we need to do. However, if you want to actually find out in real time if we really have a problem without having to we really want to check which column has some issues that we need to delete, you can go to view and you can click on column profile. I think, if I'm not oh, is it column profile or column quality? Yeah, column quality. Now by the time you click on column quality, you can now see the type of data you have, how many data you have, what percentage is empty, what percentage has error. So you can see for district we have valid 100%, empty 0%, error 0%. The same thing with candidate, party, and gender. However, for state we have 36 valid, error 34 valid, error 0, but we have 66 empty. So we need to take care of that empty cells. Now the one thing we can do is to duplicate. So if it was Excel, Microsoft Excel, you copy and paste, right? Maybe copy and paste for 109 constituency, which is a lot of work. But for my Power Query, if you go to transform, right, under transform there is, if you you see, if you go towards your right, you see fill. Now you see this fill. By the time I just hover over it, you see fill cell values to neighboring empty cells in the current selected column, right? So this is my selected column. I want to fill. So you can either fill down or you can fill up. What filling up is that whatever this is, it will fill up, but whatever cell is here, it's going to fill it upwards. So it will be Adama, then Abia. But filling down, it will be Abia. When it comes to a cell that is occupied, it will now fill down Adama, like that. Akwa Ibom, it will now be Akwa Ibom. So now I'm going to select my cell, come to fill, and click on fill down. You can see what it has done, right? It duplicated Abia twice, Adama twice, like that. And so the next thing I want to do is I want to make it a proper, like a proper noun, right? So a proper word would be Abia capital, North, like that, Kalu, Oji, Uzo. So it will be capital letter per word. So I can multiple select my columns. Since I want to apply to state, district, and candidate, so I said fill down for, I would say, for state column, right? And so what the next thing I want to do is to make each word proper here, a proper word, which is that the first letter will be capital, right? So I can multiple select by clicking on the first column, then press and hold shift button and click on candidate, and it will multiple select this. Now then I will now go to my transform, go to format, and you can select upper, lower, capitalize each word. So I will just say capitalize each word, and you see it has done it for my three it has done it for my three column. I'll say capitalize each word for state, comma, district, and candidate column. If I so want, I can decide to change the name of my candidate to full name or something. What else? Yeah, I'm basically done. Oh, the next thing we can do is, so let's say we want to say for gender we have about male and female. Let's assume we want to say male, female. We don't want to put M and F. Let's assume. So I can come to, so what it will mean is that I can do a replace. I can either replace this gender or I can create a new column. Let's see what happens if we want to redo a replace. So if you come to your gender, click on the gender column, go to replace values, right? I want to replace value anywhere I see so if I see M, I want it to be male, right? And click on OK. Everything is going to male. And if I so I'm going to repeat the same thing for replace values. If I see F, I want it to be female. And there we have it. So male, female. That is one way to go about it. Now the second way is we can create a new column and say so if you want to create a new column, we'll go to add column. We can do we can either create a custom column or we can create column from examples. So if you click on column from examples, you see a drop down, you see from selected, from all columns, from selected, from selection. So we want to, the column we want to deal with, a reference column we want to deal with is gender column. So from selection. So I'll just click on it and I'll just say maybe I'll say gender like this in small letter. Now I can say for M, I'll say male. Then I'll go to where there is F and I'll say female. Yeah, so for F, I'll just say female. So then we will now test run. How many F's do we have there? I think that's the only F. And click on OK. That is us adding a column by from example. Or we can write a formula. We'll cancel that particular step and go to custom column. If I click on it, there it gives me it gives me more flexibility to do whatever it is I want to do. I can name the column. I'll say okay, gender column. What do I want? I'll say if I can now write my formula. If gender equals M, that's capital M, then put male. Then I can then say else. I don't need to say if. So if it is not male, it's female. So else female. And click on OK. And you can see it. I've added a column. Now if I go to F, which is female, you can see female here. You can see another female here, two females. Then I can decide to delete the first gender. So just hold on, give me a moment. Yeah, do you have any question? Any questions before we continue? Are you guys okay? Any questions? Okay, no question. Khadija, out of you, no questions. Questions? Okay, so I'm going to continue. So you can also rename the so I can delete this gender, right? And now leave this one. I'll rename this to be the one to be the main column. I can just say gender in capital letter, and you can see it. Each thing, everything I do is recording the steps for me here. And so that's another way to go about it. So I'm going to delete the steps. I'll delete the steps, add column. I'm also going to delete these steps. The next thing I can do is also to say conditional column. I'll just click on conditional column. Now I can say, you can see this one is more, so it is more custom column but used with a user interface. If column name is equal to is gender and operator equals to, if it is M, if it is capital M, sorry, M, then put male. I can then say else female. or I can say add another clause if the column gender is F equals to F then female. Then if I want, I will now say else, don't put anything. Else just don't put anything, just leave it as null and click on enter. It will now create a custom column for me, although I'm supposed to name this column. Here I'll just say gender and click on OK, and you can see it has renamed it for me gender. So, and you can test run the male and female to see if it works. So this is F for female, F for female. So these are like the 3 ways you can add new columns if you so want. The next thing I can do is just to rename the table name. So this will be senators, and say senators, and you can see the table name will change. So I think we are done cleaning this data. Everything looks good. Yeah, so we'll go to table 1. Table 1, the first thing we'll do is just to rename this to House of Reps. So say House of Reps members, maybe. And so we don't need the serial number according to Abraham. We don't need the summary, but what we need to do is okay, so again the same thing with if you go to the
Hello,
website.
sir.
Yes.
Hello. It's like you're too fast. Can you just slow down a bit?
How am I fast? That's interesting. Okay, let me go back.
No, and go back to that add conditional column again.
Don't worry, we are going to do the same process here. Don't worry about that. We are going to do the same thing here. So because we want to clean this data, so we don't need the summary, we don't need the serial number. So if we go to the website House of Representative, you can see Abia. They now put 8. So Abia has 8 constituents for House of the House of Reps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then this is the 8th one, and which is why they put Abia 8. So this will be Abia, then like that. And so now that we know that, what we need to do, first of all, we want to remove these numbers from each of these states. So I'm going to click on, so again, if you want to know that, if you want to view the status of each of the column, you go to view, you go to column quality. So you can see valid 10%, empty 90%, valid 92, empty 8%, 91, empty 9, 91 9, and 91 9. So it means that we need to do some cleaning so that we can make valid 100, empty 0, error 0. The first thing we need to do is we need to fulfill this particular place. But first of all, we want to remove these numbers, 10 like that. So you click on the column you want to work on. Now what we're going to do is to go to transform and split column. So what we want to split the number from the text. So we are going to split by delimiter. A delimiter is something that separates something from the other. But this time around, because we have 8, we have 10, but we know we have numbers, right? Different numbers. So we want to separate numbers from. So you see 5, 11. So we can't say split by 10. You understand? Split by space. I think we can do split by space. That's one way to go about it. So we are going to go to column delimiter. What we want to split by space, because we can see a trend that between text and this number is a space here. So we can do split by space and click on OK. And what it's going to do is going to separate the number and the text. That is one way to go about it. The second way to go about it is we can split, but this time around non-digit to digit. So we're just going to do that, and it's going to separate it for us. So either way is fine. Just know what you want to split. What you want to split from what. Now we have our text now, but if you click on the drop down just to do like a sample, oh, we can see 14.8. That is interesting. Anyways, let me see what is our 14 and 8. I'm curious. That is interesting. Anyways, I would try the first process, but first let me even see test run. Oh, we have 14 and 8. Or your oh, this is interesting. Okay. Oh, so anyways, I'll do split by delimiter space, click on OK. I'm going to remove. Okay, so it created like 3 different columns for me. I still have our numbers, and I don't need that. Let me see. I really need to see where these numbers are. Let me check. Where's my numbers? Aha, so we have Oyo and we have 14 somewhere around here. So most likely from Oyo to the next to Plateau, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. We have 14 constituents, and we don't need this number here because we want to bring oil downwards up to where Plateau is, before Plateau. And let's check for the other one. Let's see. Again, I'm just curious myself. We have 8. So Enugu will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. So we don't want the number. And what we can do is just to remove the numbers. Sorry, let me see. Okay, first let's just deal with these ones. We don't need this. If we do a drop down, you just see numbers. Oh, we have. Oh, that is interesting. Okay, so I'm not supposed to split by space actually. What I'm just supposed to do is to I'm going to split by digit from non-digit. That's what I'm going to do. So that now let me click on this drop down. I can see only numbers here. So I will delete this. Then let's come and deal with our number here. So we have a problem of 14 and 8. So what we can just do is just to replace values. Click on replace value. So if I see 14, just replace it with nothing. If I see 8, replace it with nothing, because I don't want them to be there again. I don't need them there. Now I can come to my drop down and check. Okay, so I have blank like that. That is interesting. So the next thing we want to do is just to do fill. We'll come to fill, click down, want to fill down. It's going to help us fill the down like that. And so if we click here, we have blank. Let's go to our blank and see. Oh, so we have for Enugu here, right? And we have most likely would have for, what is it? Hold on. Oh yeah, so we have for Oyo. And so we can go to replace values, our first replace values, and instead of leaving it blank, we'll just say null. We'll just type null literally there. Click on OK, and let's see. Come to replace value to the second replace value that we did, and we'll just type null, and let's see what's going to happen. Then we'll do our fill down that is still there. Now I'm going to click on my drop down and I don't see any null, I don't see any blank. So that is fine. So the next thing we also want to do is, you see this our null value, we want to remove them. And if you notice, there's a pattern. You understand? So what is null here is same thing as empty. Null means empty. What is null here is same thing as null here, and like that. So what we can just do is just to come here and just remove null, and we are good. So by the time I remove null, what else? It's still showing me some issues. Let's see. Let's go to view column quality. So we have about 8 that is empty, 9 that is empty, like that. So I'll just go to my candidate here and click on null and see what's happening. There's no candidate name. For my district, let's see, let me come to null here and see what is happening. Oh boy, this is interesting. Oh, that is fine. Okay, so we're just going to remove the null here. Okay, so we have 0 empty. This one is less than 1% empty, like that. Let's go and see what is happening with this null here. Okay, so it's not filled, which is a problem. Or we can just leave it empty like that. Most likely, maybe there's no candidate for that. And so pretty much we are done. And the next thing we should do is, okay, so just to be safe, right, we can remove the null here, if we so want, just to be safe. Well, we can keep it still. Let's just see what's happening. So after that, we'll go to our file, go to close, and I usually like to close and load to, and I would like to load it as a connection only. So it will just be a connection only without having to display it. Now on the right hand side, you see your queries and connection, and it has loaded. What I can do is right click and go to load to, and I'm going to load as a table on a new worksheet, just like your pivot table. And you see that it will load for me. It's going to take some few seconds, and it's just going to display my data, cleaned data. That reminds me, I think Abraham asked a question regarding formatting. Number formatting, you can actually do it in Power Query. Let's see. Yep. And so if you right click, if you click on the filter, so just you can do a check to see if there are null values, that's empty cells. None so far. Yeah, everything looks good. So there's no null, there's no blank. Then we can also do for our House of Rep members, load to, or load to a table, and in a new workbook, click on OK, and you can see the title automatically is House of Reps member, the same way these members, the same thing that we name our table. For this one, we are aware that there are 2 empty cells for 3 columns, and they are all the same. For some weird reason, I don't really know why that space is not filled, but it's worth looking into. Most likely, maybe there are no candidates there and stuff like that. And so if you come to gender, you see blank. Let's just go to blank, click on OK. You can see where we don't have candidate, party, or gender, and most likely there is no representative for there from that place. I really don't know. So if I want to go back to my Power Query, I'll just right click on my any of my table in the query, my query and connections, go to edit. Now I saw state for the House of Rep is state 1. I want to actually change the name. Let me see. I want to change the name.
What do you do?
Sorry, are you asking a question, Abraham? Your network, please.
Yes, I said you said something that if you want to go back to your Power Query, what do you do?
So if I want to go back to my Power Query editor, keep. If I want to go to my Power Query editor on the query and connection, what I'm just going to do is to right click on any of the table and go to click on edit, and it takes me to my Power Query.
I can't find the editor. I'm following you by
Share your screen, bros.
my screen. Okay. I have to connect with my other phone.
Well, share your screen so that we can see it without, so that we don't go back and forth. You are following me. So I want to get a particular data that is in this particular location. So I can power up my Power Query. Let's see, I'll create a new workbook. Then I'll go to my data. Now the data set I want to actually import is a Microsoft Excel workbook. So it's a Microsoft Excel file. I go to get data from file. So you can actually choose which type of data format you want to get. So from Excel workbook, hold on. So it's going to take you to it to open a directory for you to enter. Now I already copied the where my data is. No, it's not this. I'm going to copy the file location, and this is just Windows 11. If you are not this is just Windows 11. I think in other Windows too, you can copy the address. So this is my data, right? I'll just double click on it. I wanted to show you an example of this particular example I want to show you guys. Let's see. So it's processing the data. So it doesn't identify there is one table and two sheets. Let's look at the different sheets. Okay, good. It has what I need. So I'm going to use sheet 1, right? And that's because it has the example I need. I'll click on transform. Excuse me. So while I click on transform, it's going to process the data, and it is going to it is going to open my Power Query editor. Hold on, it's taking time to come up. Now this is what we have. Now compared to the data that we imported in the first time, in the first instance, each of them have like a column title, right? But you can see this one now, it's showing column 1, column 2, column 3, like that. But if you look at row 4, we have S/N, which is serial number, admission number, name of student, English language, like that. This looks like a column title, right? And
Yes.
yeah, so now, so what we want to do now is to make sure that our row 4 become our column title. How do we do that? Now in which is, so if it is Microsoft Excel, you just need to just to select this particular rows and you just delete, right? I don't know if there's this. Oh no, you cannot delete here. So what you do is, you see this table looking icon here. You can click on it and say remove top rows, right? Or you can come to home. You see this row here, remove top row. Now, which row do you want to remove? We want to remove from row 1 to 3, right? We just want to remove this first. That's what the first thing we want to do. And so we'll say remove top rows, and we'll remove so number of rows I want to remove. I will remove the first 3 rows. Click on OK. Now you can see our row 4 now is now in our row 1. The next thing we will now do is we can go to transform and use first row as headers. Use first row as headers, right? By the time I click on that, you can now see that our serial number, admission number, name, English, like that, is now our row. Right now, it is now our column title. Now if you go to view, go to column quality, you can see we have 3 empty, 3 empty, 3% empty, 0, like that. Now if we click on our filter, you can see where the null is. But if you now scroll down, you can see our null value here. You can see null, you can see total, and we don't need this last. So we can come to our home, remove bottom row. That's from the bottom. How many row we want to remove? We just want to remove 1 row from the bottom. And see, by the time we do that, it has already deleted the last row. Now if you now want to do your assessment, now you can see valid 100%, empty 0%. So everything looks normal and fine here, right? And by the time you are done, you can just say close and load to. But if you want, you can load, if you want. So this is what happens when you just load. It will just automatically load to the current worksheet that we have. So now that we've done that, it created, you can now see our table, right? And everything is looking fine and looking nice. So basically this is like an overview of your Power Query. Do you have any questions before we call it a day? In the coming